What's happening? Cameron Tradukian here with the Daily Developer Show. This is the show where we talk every single day about how you can become a better developer and how to optimize your lifestyle as a developer. Now, what I want to talk to you about in this video is the idea of practicing and how much you should practice. Now, in this video, I want to give you kind of a unique perspective, something that I haven't heard expressed exactly in this way by the other videos on YouTube that I've seen on this topic. So, you're wondering, Cameron, Mr. Cameron of the Daily Developer Show, how much do I need to practice to become a software developer? Well, I made a video earlier that said you probably need somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 hours to get your first job as a software developer. But let's break that down. How much should you be practicing every single day? Here's the way I think about it. Now, you may not know this, but when I was in high school, I was training to become a juggler. I intended to go become a professional performer in Russia or Ukraine and join the circus there. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to achieve that goal because to achieve that goal, it would have required me to juggle 9 balls, whereas I was able to juggle 6 balls well and juggle 7 balls decently, but I found that 8 was a bit beyond my capabilities, so I never ended up going to the circus. I'd been learning for about 2 and a half years at the time, so I decided to build a lifestyle of travel rather than going to the circus. But the point is, when I was training to become a juggler, I kind of researched some advice, like what were the best jugglers in the world saying about practice? And one juggler said something I think is very insightful, and I think that could be useful to you. That juggler said, to become better at juggling, you need to practice every day. We're working on the muscle memory here. So, the ideal amount of time to practice is practice enough, but don't practice so much that you won't want to come back tomorrow. I think that while juggling or a physical skill such as shooting free throws in basketball, swinging a baseball bat, those have an element of muscle memory. So the actual daily nature of the task may be more important because we're trying to ingrain certain movements into our nervous system. But at the same time, learning code also requires lots of repetition or many hours of deeply focused practice. So I think that you can largely apply that same attitude that juggler expressed, that same philosophy, you can apply that to your coding. Have the attitude that I am going to practice every single day, and I'm going to practice enough that I feel like I've made progress, but I'm not going to overexert myself. I'm going to put forth a sincere effort. I'm going to do my best every day, but I'm not going to go so far that I get turned off of coding. So, I hope that advice is helpful for you. What else? Is there anything else to add to this? As soon as I click finish, as soon as I click boop, I'm going to think of something. But anyway, let's summarize. To get better, you need to put the time in. Here's what I was going to say. To get better, you need to put the time in. But at the same time, we also have to recognize that we want to put forth a sincere effort, but we don't want to exert ourselves. And finally, if you find that for weeks on end, months on end, that you just can't motivate yourself to put in more than 10 or 15 minutes a day for learning to code, I'm not saying you got to be one of those guys that's got to program for 5, 10, 15 hours a day, but depending on how busy your schedule is, you should try to be able to get at least 1 or 2 hours in every day. So if you cannot do that, if you're putting in 10 minutes every day and you're like, you know what, this is, no, then either the issue is that you're learning from a poor source. Perhaps you like learning through videos and you're trying to read some documentation that's not good. I know that I did that when I was in 7th grade, when I was learning to code for the first time. I couldn't learn because I was learning from the wrong source. So you're either learning from the wrong source, you could also be, for example, maybe coding is not compatible with your personality. Maybe you're the person that loves to just go and talk to everybody, and you're super extroverted, you can't be alone. In that case, coding may not be the most suitable profession for you. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but be introspective and honest with yourself if you actually want to do it. Look at your actions and say, what's going on here? Or if neither of those is the case, the other thing to consider is that maybe you have some other kind of issues. Now, I'm not saying that judgmentally, but maybe there's some kind of deeply suited trauma you have inside you for whatever reason that maybe you need to get professional help for that. Because if you can't get yourself, if this is an important goal for you and you can't get yourself to consistently put in at least, let's say, 30 minutes a day, then that's a serious issue. That's something we need to look at so that we can achieve this goal in a reasonable time. I mean, even at 30 minutes a day, that's probably going to take you 5 years to get a developer job. So that's a long time. It's a process. So I hope you got some value out of this video. I'm not judging anybody, but that's something to think about. I hope you got some value. And remember, this is the Daily Developer Show. This is the show where we talk every single day about how you can become a better developer. So I hope you got some value out of this video, and I will see you again tomorrow in the next episode of the Daily Developer Show.